be very, very quiet. We're hunting headframes. Not scale houses. We're hunting headframes. Hey y'all, this is 401119 from Headframe Hunters. We are here at the Eagle-Babb or Babb-Barnes Mine in Crittenden County, Kentucky. We are here courtesy of Hastie Mining and Trucking, the owners of this property. I went ahead and called them up this week, told them about what we do, asked if we could come on. He said, sure, you can walk right onto the property. So we're doing that. This is a primary fluorspar, possibly some lead and zinc mine that was abandoned about 1979 or so, give or take. The unusual thing, pardon the wind, is that unlike most abandoned mines, especially ones of more recent vintage, when Eagle-Babb closed down, it was not reclaimed. They left it right as it was. So not only do we have a head frame here, we have environmental safety and purchasing, we have the laboratory, we have a visitor parking sign up there, transformer, dry storage, crushers, ore bins, and God knows what else, because this place is absolutely enormous. So we are here in the Eagle-Babb Mines pump and hoist house. Yeah, so these are all pipe fittings. I believe this was the actual pump for the mine. Talking about working pressure, I believe it's a pump. There is a huge amount of electrical equipment in here. That right there is the hoist operator's booth, where he would sit. These are probably something like capacitor banks, but I don't know. I am no electrician. This is the hoist on the other side of us. It's fairly similar to the one we found at the Hidden mine, but most mine hoists of the conventional type, i.e. not a friction hoist that's mounted to the top of the head frame, most hoists of conventional design look fairly similar. This one is just reasonably large. It's crazy here. There's bags of fluorspar, or what bags marked fluorspar here, from the WWII Mining Corp, which I have actually never heard of and have not actually seen a reference to in the history of this mine. Of course, the history of this mine is that there really isn't a whole lot available. More daughters. I think the way we're going to structure this video is we are going to walk you through, you the viewer, through the mining process in order as it happens, the mining and milling process.
It's not often we can do that.
No, it's not. Usually we only get to see an incomplete operation that's been damaged to some degree by vandalism or reclamation or...
And sometimes no longer existent.
Yeah, or just gone. So this is kind of the first step to getting mined ore out of the ground. The hoist house will power the cables that pull the skips out of the shaft, which can be seen right there. That's what this does. This entire structure here is dedicated to pulling the ore up the shaft and keeping the underground workings dry. There's some big pumps here. I think it is. So following along with the production and processing tour here at the Eagle-Babb Mine, we have Headframe. Nice unit, double compartment shaft, overgrown. Shaft appears to be full of water and has some railroad ties over it, so unsuspecting children or deer won't fall in. So there's an ore bin up here. It looks like it has two chutes. I don't know if one's ore, one's waste, or what, and there's a second crusher over there for something. Anyways, this is the primary jaw crusher. So this will take your run-of-mine shot rock and start sizing it down to something reasonably small, but not small enough to mill. We'll get brought up this conveyor. This lovely Telsmith conveyor that is older than I am by a factor of at least 2. It then gets run through a second crusher here. What does this crusher do? It goes ahead and sizes the previously crushed rock down further. A small transfer conveyor dumps it onto this conveyor, which takes it up into the conveniently labeled screening building. We're going to take a look in there next. Alright, so here we are at the screening stage, the screen plant, the Eagle-Babb Mine. So there is another crusher and a screen system above us, similar to the combination screen and secondary gyratory or cone crusher that Gail was taking a look at, which was awesome. So there are 2 feeds here that feed onto another conveyor that'll then take it to the next stage of the process. We're going to go up the staircase and take a look up there in just a moment. So here is the second story of the screen plant. Be very careful of where we step on the floor. Watch out for the asbestos. So these are screens here. That'll probably dump oversized down into another crusher. So you can see the size they're going for before milling can commence. If you hear strange noises outside, there's plenty of bulls and livestock and deer around here, so nothing spooky. Of course, I say that, and we're going to experience an apparition of a Kentucky fluorspar miner from 1974. The equipment in here is nothing short of awesome. It's not in great shape.
But it's still damn cool.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Look completely dry.
Is that paint?
I think it might be tar.
Could be.
But it dripped down this sheet of paper here. And it had to have done that for a while, because look at just
It's awesome.
it's not even a splatter pattern, it's just kind of a drizzle.
I bet you they use tar to seal up cracks in the building for winter.
Oh yeah.
Alice Chalmers. Familiar with those guys. So, looks like there were nozzles in here. Apologize for the poor light. There were nozzles in here that were used to hydrate it, I guess. Never actually seen a wet screen plant, but I am familiar with the fact that they exist. There's also a third level up here I'm not personally going to go up it, just because I only like pushing my luck so far with old flooring.
And I'm going to assess just because. And James just took my shotgun, so there is as little weight as possible if I should decide.
You never know where there's going to be methods.
Though I think we'd have heard them by now. So, these stairs are a lot less dry and solid. Probably because... Yeah, so the stairs are a lot less solid and musty, moldy, kind of spongy. Probably because the roof has been opened.
Don't do it.
And the floor here looks even more corroded. Now, while I would love to see exactly what's up there, freshman year of college, I got to witness a guy fall through a 3-story building. And I don't think that I need to... Let's hope that I took that lesson the easy way. It was not a fun time.
I know you were a reenactor, but there are some events that should not be reenacted.
Thank you.
Oh, you're all welcome.
Sounds like that bull out there again.
Yeah. Still recording?
Yeah. Just kind of the crazy shit that you're gonna see out here. And as I've been saying for a while, I still feel like I'm in an episode of Game of Fallout.
Where things get a little bit interesting, and I may not be able to perfectly describe everything that's happening here. So after the screen plant building, which we were just in, crushed ore gets conveyed up here, dropped into these bins, and then this conveyor running up, left to right, take it into a mill. I believe that this other conveyor that runs this way will discharge that way. This is likely tailings in here. I believe that's what all that is. So that is tailings. This conveyor here will come up, hit a transfer stage, get dumped into this ore bin here. Or from that gets conveyed up into here. That's the flotation building. There's probably going to be a bunch of flotation cells in there, which we'll take a look at in a bit. This is a door thickener. They have it labeled as the fine ore thickener, which sounds quite correct. Still not completely sure what that building is, but we might be able to find out. I'm going to assume that it may be yet another crusher. I don't actually know. They have it set up for a hoist and with man doors on the side so that equipment could easily be brought in and out. I think it mills. So for those of us who, or those of you who have seen the video that I put together of the Doe Run Company's Buick mill, this is going to be pretty familiar. This is a ball mill of some sort. It's actually a fairly small mill. So, the mill here...
What is it, only 8 feet in diameter? Maybe 9?
Give or take, yeah. And then discharge out here. I think they would have had piping set up. It looks like this area may be disassembled. And then these are flotation cells. I believe these are called Denver cells. It's not quite like the It's not exactly like the units that we saw at Buick. Anyway, these are going to be used to inject, a flocculant is going to be injected into these. And what it will do, it will stick to the ore particles, or rather the valuable mineral particles, and cause them to rise to the top where they can be skimmed off. The other material is then discarded as tailings after being run through roughers, cleaners, and scavenger cells to get every single last bit of pay ore out. And we saw the door thickener tank outside. I believe there's at least two at this mine, one for fine ore and maybe one for coarse ore. If there's one for fine ore, it would stand to be there's another one for coarse ore, but hey, who knows. This is the operator's booth for the mill. Kind of impressive. All this equipment here is going to be analog electromechanical. There was not really a whole lot in the way of computer-controlled industrial equipment in the 70s or even 60s. It definitely existed, but it was the minority for sure. I'm sorry it's dark. There's no power in here. Strange for a mine that's been abandoned for 38 years that there wouldn't be electrical power. We're in here after concentrate is discharged from the mill. I believe it's going to be stored in that A-frame type structure we saw earlier. Lots of birds and critters here. The tailings are basically a wetlands habitat for them, which is kind of cool. Yep. Stinks actually slightly incorrect. This here is the concentrate thickener. And from here, concentrates will be discharged that would then be processed elsewhere. I don't know what their concentrate grades would be at this mine here. So let's take a look inside the A-frame structure. Now, where I'm from down in Florida, they use buildings like this to store phosphate that's come out of the mines in Bone Valley. Yeah, so this in here is just dry storage with an overhead conveyor, kind of like what you'd use for road salt. I don't know what actually would have gotten stored in here. But I'm going to assume this is where one of the products would go. Probably Fluorspar. I would have to look and see what they were actively processing or actively producing here. If it was just Fluorspar or if there were other metals. This is likely a reservoir for some of the processed chemicals for milling. I don't know what a good thickener is in this case. But there you have it, guys. That's the Eagle-Babb Mine. Oh wait, still got this. It's the DWP unit. I have no clue what a DWP is. Dry something processing. Dry what processing? Processing? That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Dry or wet processing?
Maybe. Whatever it does, it looks like it's a pre-processing stage. You got your light. I got no idea what this is.
Water in here.
Yeah, equipment pit.
Oh, you see?
Fish?
Frogs.
Cool.
They have mine frogs.
Mine frogs are always a good sign. Yeah, there's just various, looks like dry process equipment in here. It might be like a quaternary crushing or a pre-grinding or some kind of other thing. DWP, I have not actually heard of that acronym with regards to mining. If any viewers know what that is, please pitch in and help explain. Otherwise, I will probably do some Google foo. Try and figure out what exactly it is a DWP unit would be doing. The banging up there is a piece of sheet metal up near a window that is banging in the wind and kind of popping in and out of position.
Nope, can't find the mine frog again.
Alright. It's probably a dormant mine frog.
Oh, what?
Dormant or sleepy. It's
No, it's on my light swam down.
I'll be hiding under something.
Could be. Alright. What do you want to do?
I think that we've seen basically everything there is at this one.
Alright. It sounded like you were on the second or third floor. Right?
Hey, I can understand that. There's metal banging all around up there.
No, James, it sounded like a voice.
Ooh. Wouldn't be the first time we've heard weirdness at mines.
No.
This in here is the another view of the flotation separation unit with its flotation cells. It's a cool process. Very cool to see it in action.